All right, in number 18, we start to kick off our trig unit, which is dealing with SOHCAHTOA. So if you remember, cosine is referring to the adjacent side over the hypotenuse. They want us to sketch this in quadrant 1. So here's quadrant 1. Remember, extend a diagonal out. Theta is always the closest to the origin. A is always attached to theta, so this is attached to theta. I'm going to call that 3. The hypotenuse is 4, so I need to figure out this side. So I'm going to say 3 squared plus y squared equals 4 squared. So 4 squared is 16. I'm going to do 16 minus 9, which is, 16 minus 9 gives me 5. And then I want to take the square root of both sides, giving me the square root of 5. For the final answer, they want sine, which is the ratio O over H. Okay, so if we said this is the square root of 5, O is the square root of 5, and the hypotenuse is 4. The nice thing about this is we don't have to rationalize, it's already in that form. And again, if I went too fast, just go back and rewind the video. Okay, so here they say find the measure of an angle. Remember, if I want to find a side, I want to use just regular sine, cosine, tangent. But if I want to find an angle, I want to use inverses. Okay, so I want to use the opposite, and I want to use the hypotenuse. So OH, if you remember from SOHCAHTOA, is the sine. So we're going to say sine of A equals 3 over 5. In order to reverse these, we're going to find the inverse sine. And you're just flip-flopping them. You're not flipping the fraction, you're just reversing A and your ratio. And then from there, your calculator is going to do the work. So you're going to have to hit the second button before hitting sine. And was it 3 over 5? Just make sure you're in the right mode. Yeah, my calculator's in radian mode, so I want to make sure I switch over to degree mode. And then we'll hit second enter. There we go, that's a better number. So we get 36.9. Make sure you say degrees for the angle. Last one is talking about Jocelyn and Lorena. They see a bird between them. So here's the bird up in the sky. Angles of elevation. The nice thing is this picture is already labeled for you. So they want to know how far apart are Jocelyn and Lorena. So we'll say Jocelyn is at A, Lorena is at B. We want to know these two distances. So in order to find these distances that we'll have to add together eventually, we'll have to find those individual pieces. So we've got opposite and adjacent. So opposite and adjacent is tangent. We'll say tangent of 23, 1,000 over x. Remember, to solve for x, you actually want to flip-flop them. And I'm going to do the same thing over here with my other triangle. I'm calling this the opposite, and y is now the adjacent. And since y is in the bottom, you're going to flip-flop them. Okay, so once you figure out these, you're just going to add those pieces together, and if you want, you really could type it in all at once. We said the tangent, 1,000 divided by the tangent of 23. 1,000 divided by the tangent of 42. Okay, just make sure you have two ending parentheses there so that you're not only closing up the 42, but you're closing up the fraction with the 1,000 in there. So we're getting 3,466.5. And if the bird is, the units were feet, we're going to stick with the units of feet. We had to add them.